Hey, this is Uthris, and we are back in Planet Coaster today, continuing on, working on the final plaza of the Pirate District here. Some new structures being built. Last time we worked on the coaster station to the left and the castle that it makes up, or fort, I guess rather, to kind of defend the town itself. And then now we're setting up some final kind of main structures to cap it all off, and then of course some foliage. Now continuing on, we are using layers as much as possible, so this one's actually going to have kind of a front porch with some steps, some chimneys to act kind of as the guardrails there, and then I'm just trying to throw in as many different things as possible to try and make each one look a little bit more unique but still keep kind of the same unified theme that we've been following so far. Using these windows, we can actually square off the tops of those, and then putting lanterns on them make them look less like chimneys and more, as I said, like cornerstones for the actual stairs up onto the porch. And then we will be trying to break up the surface, because we're using a lot of tan, and really it's not good in my opinion, but there's really not a lot of color variation, and that's probably the main problem I think a lot of people are running into right now. We were trying different windows, maybe using the backside of a sign and then adding some actual knobs on it to make it look like a window, but it just looked out of place compared to the rest of the other buildings and structures. I mean, it would work maybe in a little bit more of a shady area, a rundown area, but there it didn't. Here, you know, trying to get a good trim on and make a custom window for this section. And that's kind of connecting that stone fort area plus this manor home here. And you know, the farther back we go, we're getting a little bit more fancy of a home and layout, as this is kind of away from the dock district and a little bit more higher class. We're gonna add some foliage, of course, try and make it look kind of nice and presentable. And then finally, we're actually adding the foliage around the ride itself. I've been kind of delaying this because foliage is a little bit boring, but I'm using parts of trees to give us bushes, a little bit more volume than normal, and then some red and yellow bushes and trees to try and give us some flowers just to break up the area. And then we're going to build a small kind of waist-high wall, and here we're just trying to come up with a decent design, and it's going to be reminiscent of that trim on the small connecting hallway on the last manor home. So we're going to use a little bit of the tiles as a top, and then the half ring from the window as just an extra decal kind of item that's going to carry on through, and we'll just copy and paste it all the way around this path and make it look nice and neat, and we'll cap it all off with another chimney design to make it look a little bit more regal here at the edge. Going back, we are going to pretty much finish up the stone structure. This is kind of the last bit of the fort that's remaining, and it's kind of the main divider between the lower section and the upper section there. They have a nice little curved path to climb up to get onto the coaster and start heading towards the Aztec area that we'll be working on at some point. I don't know how much more we have left of the pirate area. If I had to guess, at the rate it kind of takes me, it's probably 2-3 episodes tops. I mean, we have a lot of detail to throw into the caves to try and finish off the coasters and everything. Here, just trying to figure out the color palette that's going to work, because the wooden and stone, I kind of wish there was a 45-degree stone wall piece to use there for those roof elements, but sadly we just had to use wooden. White would have looked a little too weird, so just have to use what you can. It has some flags on it. We're gonna have some lanterns here and there. Sadly, this map still doesn't really have a full day-night cycle, so it does kind of, there's really no point to putting lanterns, but just add some detail on it. This structure here is going to be a partial stone, partial plaster. It's going to be a fairly nice looking home. You know, we're going to be breaking up the white lower area with some nice wooden elements to break up the colors, hopefully as much as possible. Bring in some red, and then on the inside we can put some food and drink So as they go into this back section, which I plan to have, it's almost going to be like a smuggler's area. It's going to have some side streets and little facades back there, some nice shops. You know, if you think about the Caribbean, you can get some jewelry for cheap, and so that's kind of what I'm thinking for back there. Is kind of a tucked away little shopping district, which will be pretty cool, I think. Again, just trying to mix up as much as possible, trying to bring in as much variation as we can with all these structures and layer them up to make some interesting shapes. You know, I don't really have many angled buildings. I'm generally more of a boxy, I guess, type of person. A lot of L shapes, a lot of T junctions used to try and break up the forms. I really should probably go back in and maybe add some more angled elements to some of my structures. In here we're just adding some more greenery, and on the left side there was this big green area, and so we're gonna try and plant some flowers and make something a little bit more special on one side, just to see if we can bring in some more color. Everything that I'm doing is a test, you know. I'm trying to bring inspiration and get used to building in Planet Coaster still. This is still my first theme park. I haven't, you know, successfully probably built a theme park in a video game in a long time, so I'm still, I feel like I'm getting used to using the elements in certain ways to get certain effects that we're looking for. Adding some marble columns onto this to make it even more regal. This thing, maybe it's the port office or some type of manor home itself. And then the upper layer, this is going to have an upper balcony, kind of with a really wide arching supports on either side. And here, you know, trying to figure out some different window types that we could possibly use, and it wasn't really working out. And then I got a bug that I couldn't delete certain elements, and it's just kind of a weird bug. I would have to actually kind of restart the game to get that deleted, so I decided to not do that, but just work with what we had. Replaced the plaster, which is a wooden siding, to try and bring a better color breakup, in my opinion, than using maybe the red wood or anything like that. But I'm just trying to work out some details. It's not something that, you know, I don't pre-plan any of this. This is all just as I go. I think about, hey, you know, what does this look like? What could it be? And then I just start building and throwing shapes together the best I can and the best I know how, using as much wooden trim to break up the plaster as possible. Some of the lower areas where it's connecting to the stone, since the colors are so similar, it's best to probably do that. And then eventually we're going to do a little bit of a skip here, probably in a couple minutes. And then we'll do a nice kind of panning shot so you guys can see the finished structures. This little cool outcrop here and with the balcony, I thought was a nice kind of mid-layer split. And then this structure in the back gets actually pretty tall. It's about a three and a half story structure with a barn roof and some peaks on the sides, which you guys will get to see at the end. I don't know how far it gets in the speed build section. This has been a couple days. That's why I didn't upload a video yesterday for you guys. I just figured I wanted to get these back buildings pretty much all fleshed out for you all, so you can enjoy a finished section of the park. Because, you know, I could record just one building at a time, but I figured that might be a little boring, a little repetitive, and so I want to get as much done for these episodes as possible, so you guys can get some good inspiration for your own builds. And of course, you know, trying to come up with a cool facade on the upper levels. That's going to be a little bit different than the lower levels there, trying to bring in some cool shapes and use them to the best of our abilities on these. Again, it's just a lot of trial and error for me. I can't really explain very well on what I'm even doing, just because it's just like I threw shapes together. Another low wall here, using chimneys as little kind of breaks in the wall itself. And we'll walk that around. We'll put some greenery in that little grassy area there. And then we will go ahead and probably do a skip, do a nice little view of kind of where we are at. and then I'll see you guys after all that is ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed the speed build today. Planet Coaster is still, in my opinion, one of my favorite games at the moment. Even though it's still in early access and alpha stages, it just blows me away with all that we can do so far still. You know, super excited for the terrain tool when that comes out. We'll be able to change the terrain around however we see fit, get some coasters underground through tunnels. That'll be awesome. And then hopefully when the management system comes out, that'll just be another wonderful update. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching as always. As you can see, this whole park is just taking shape and it's just starting to come together really nice. If you all enjoyed the episode, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more creative goodness. Go ahead and hit that like button so I know you guys are enjoying the content and I'll make more. And so I'll see you guys in the next episode of Planet Coaster.